Tech on winning the 72nd TaxSlayer Bowl. And so we will have Coach Johnson open up with a statement, and then we'll take questions, and then we'll do the players right after.
Okay, well, first of all, I was really proud of my team in the way that they were resilient and kept fighting today. Hats off to the University of Kentucky. I thought that they played really hard and competed the whole game. And we were fortunate we made some plays when we had to have them. And, we hit a few more big plays than they did, and that was probably the difference in the game.
Questions? Repeat where you're, or tell us where you're from before you tell us the question.
Rob McKenzie, GoJackets.com. A lot of big fourth down plays that went your way today, and that would seem like it was a big key to the game.
Yeah, we got some good stops defensively on fourth down that helped, and I went brain dead there from my own 10. But I was going to call timeout, but when they didn't cover the guard, I figured we'd let it roll, and we did, and got first down, so it was good. Went on down and scored.
Gary Smith, Florida Tom Dean. Coach Dedrick has had a quite the freshman year in a lot of regards. A little bit eventful on and off the field, but what do you think today's game does for him moving forward? And do you feel like the maturity level is also going to keep improving and going forward from here?
Well, I certainly hope so. I think he can be a very special player. He's a very talented young man, and we've got to try to help him grow up. Sometimes at that age when you're 18, and we all didn't make great decisions, and it's our job to help him make the right decisions, because he's got a bright future if he'll continue to work hard. I was getting on him today. I told him he was getting a little fat, but he was a workhorse today, man. He played tough.
Ben Bridges, WMOQ. Coach Johnson, 3 wins last year, 9 this year, big win over Georgia, TaxSlayer trophy going back to Atlanta. You gotta love the momentum going into the spring.
I do. We're 3-0 in the SEC East and got Tennessee next. So it's hopefully we can take this and build on it. We've got a good nucleus returning, but we lose some really key players. Offensively, I always kind of look at the offense like a baseball up the middle, and we lose our center quarterback, which are both 3-year starters. It'll be big guys to replace. And defensively, we lose some key defensive linemen, and P.J. Davis will be hard to replace as well.
Coach, going back to that fourth down play, obviously a big play, but were you concerned the fact that they were that close and it was still a 10-3 game at that point?
Yeah, I'm always concerned. We called it on doubles. The guy flew back, which gave me a chance to look and see how they were lined up. And if they didn't jump off sides, had they been lined up down in the gaps or whatever, I would have taken a timeout. I had the official standing by me. When they didn't cover the guard, it was kind of a gimme. I mean, if we don't drop the snap or whatever, and JT didn't give me much time to think about it, he quick snapped me. So it was, we ran behind Parker Braun, who's one of our better players, and Diedrich's one of our better players, even though they're freshmen, and it worked out.
Coach Johnson, Patrick Connor on Delaware Nugget. Please take us to the play call on the final scoring drive that passed Ricky June.
Yeah, they had been, I noticed the drive before, they were firing the corner on tail motion. And so what we called was a stop route, but I thought they might fire the corner, and they did. And so there was nobody to cover it. And when the tail motion guy came, I think they thought it was a run, and they fired the guy, and JT made a nice throw, and that's still a good catch, because in that situation, with that much pressure, it would have been easy. We had a couple drops today, but Ricky made a nice play on it.
Paul, Steve Hummer, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Looking at the fullness, I guess, of Justin's career over the years, what are your predominant thoughts about his career at Tech?
Well, I mean, he's had a great career, no doubt, and he's such a great kid. I mean, he's just been a joy to coach and a joy to work with. He's got a great football mind. I think when he finishes playing football, he wants to coach, and he'll be really good at it. Nothing much bothers him. He stays pretty calm and that. But I think he'll go down. Sometimes you have to be gone for a year or two before people really realize what you did. And there's no question that he'll go down as one of the greats at Georgia Tech. I mean, he's had a heck of a career.
Mark Russell with the Technique. Coach, can you talk about what Harrison Butker has meant to this program the last 4 years?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, I was so happy for Harrison today. What did he hit? 4 field goals? Yeah. And it's really something, because I was joking with him all leading up to the game that we were going to go for 2 on extra points, and he was tied for the all-time leading scores at Georgia Tech. And he was clutch. I mean, he was clutch. The one before halftime was big. The one to go up by 16 was big. I kind of, that's one I could kick myself in the tail for, because I kind of played to go up 16. I didn't want to take a chance on not getting 3 points there on the 3rd down. And I was about that close to throwing it off the play, which would have been a walk-in touchdown if I'd have done it. That was a bad call on my part. But that was clutch. I mean, to make that field goal. And I felt like if we got up 16, the odds of them getting 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions weren't real good.
John Wong, Nolan Group. Coach, there was a sequence in the first quarter where Coach Suit seemed pretty agitated with what was going on your sidelines. What was your interpretation of what was happening at that time?
I have no idea. On our sidelines, you'd have to ask him. He didn't say anything after the game or whatever. I wouldn't have any idea.
Coach Stoops mentioned that their offensive line did a great job against Louisville in the previous game. Today, you had their quarterback on the run. What did you see from the defensive line today?
Yeah, I thought we got good pressure. We struggled at times to contain, and he's really good at that. Going in, that was one of my biggest concerns. Excuse me, and he hurt us the one long run there in the 4th quarter. But all in all, we got pretty good pressure. Yeah, thought the defensive line, did pretty well.
Kelly Quinlan, Jackets Online. Can you talk a little bit about the officiating in the first half? I know you can't get into it. Just seemed like maybe they were a little flustered, or there were some bizarre sequences for both sides. Both you and Coach Stoops were chewing them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the game's over. I'm sure it's those officials have a tough job, and everybody doesn't see things the same way. So, I got on our guys at halftime, and when I say our guys, if I'm the lead culprit, that I didn't want anybody saying anything to the officials in the second half. It just doesn't do any good. I'm sure they're doing the best they can do. I'll just leave it at that.
It seemed pretty feisty, some stuff after the plays were over. What was kind of your sense of just the level of aggression and everything?
Probably some frustration. We did some dumb stuff. I mean, the one right at the kickoff to start the second half, I mean, we would have got a 15-yard penalty on the guy, and we've got to hold our composure better than that. It's a physical game, emotional game, and the way the game was going, both sides wanted to win, and they were competing.
Can you talk about the strip and the fumble recovery by PJ? You had Pat and PJ make big plays for you.
Yeah, no, that was a great play. I mean, they're trying to run a sprint out pass, and PJ came on a blitz and slapped the ball loose and picked it up and was able to get it in the end zone. Couldn't think of a better way to start the game. I mean, that was a great way to start.
Any other questions?
The block pump could have been huge. And we made a mistake there. I mean, you don't ever fall on that ball, especially not in the last, minute. And then we had a drop, and then overthrow. I mean, if we could have gotten more than 3 out of that, that would have been huge.
Coach, how serious was the injury to Burden, and when did he go out?
We don't know how serious it is. We're hoping it could be, you'd just be speculating right now to say anything. He went out, I think, right at the start of the 4th quarter. Yeah.
Coach, do you think that block punt was a result of the rugby style approach? I noticed on the
Our
field.
block punt?
Yes.
Yes, it was. He stepped right into the guy.
So
It was a bad snap too. It was a low snap, but
pulled him off to the right, his right a little bit.
Mhm.
But on the on the punt following same, he punted straight ahead. Was that his call? Is that his call to make normally?
no. That's our special teams coach, and he's done a great job all year. I mean, our punt team's been really good all year.
Sure.
In the last half of the year, Ryan Ruggles done a great job. So it was just unfortunate. The defense went out and did a great job holding.
Thank you.
All right, that's it.